Hello guys, this is Ragemachine. I'm going to be showing you a guide on how to play a Frost Deathknight. I'll be speaking about your talent selections, glyphs, stat priority, rotation, crowd control abilities, and crowd control breakers. This is one of the most fun characters to play in WoW and one of the simplest classes to play. It doesn't require much skill or time to master, which is great for someone trying to play multiple tunes, as it's not the easiest task to learn a lot of classes. Now, the main goal and objective of a Frost Deathknight in arenas and RPGs is damage. Damage, damage, damage. That's your goal, and that's your main objective to do, is just spread as much damage as possible. Now, now the best way to get the most damage is by your plagues. More specifically, Necrotic Plague. Now, this is a 100 talent that you can select and which I recommend. So let me go ahead and click. So right here, Necrotic Plague. Now, the reason Necrotic Plague is your best choice is because of the flat and steady damage it provides, along with the ability to jump to other targets within 8 yards of the infected target. So what's so awesome is that is the fact that the targets you infect will cause you to gain more runic power if they decide to strike you. More runic power means more frost strikes, more obliterates, and more howling blasts. So runic power plays a huge role in how you play your Deathknight, and successfully put out tons of damage. You know, I'll go into more detail later on that. So right now we're going to go back to talents. Now, the level 56 talent I like to pick is Plague Leech. Now, the reason I choose Plague Leech is because it will activate 2 random fully depleted units. However, it will remove Necrotic Plague. But that's no problem, as Necrotic Plague can be applied quite easily. Plague Leech is great for arenas when you get a target down to, let's say, 10-20%, and you're unable to obliterate Froststrike or Howling Blast, you know, so you're just kind of sitting in there La La Land, you know, waiting for something to pop out, you know. And so what you do is you activate this, and then you go ahead and reapply Outbreak if possible. So what I like to do is, if I need to do that, is I apply Plague Leech. It'll go ahead and remove Necrotic Plague, and then I go ahead and reply it with Outbreak, you know. And so that way you can keep Necrotic Plague up at all times, you know. But if Outbreak is on cooldown, you know, it's no worries. Just obliterate and hope for a Howling Blast proc, you know. Because any ability that you use will apply, well, I shouldn't say every ability, but just about every ability will apply Necrotic Plague on the target. Now, now for my 60 talent, I prefer, excuse me, I went ahead and skipped a talent, 2 talents. For my 57 talent, I prefer Lichborn. Now simply for the ability to break fears, you know. That's the reason why I like to choose it. And then for my 58 talent, what I highly recommend is Asphyxiate. You know, as it's going to be your main crowd control effect. More crowd control means less healing is being done. You know, Chillblains is great for when a hunter or mage is trying to kite you in an arena. I really don't recommend it for RPGs, but in some cases it is great for arenas depending upon who you're running with and the comp you're playing. Now, for my 60 talent, I prefer Runic Empowerment over Runic Corruption. I don't believe you can go wrong in either one. Personally, I've had better results and more rune regeneration with Runic Empowerment. And so, I mean, it's really up to you guys what you want to decide with that, but I recommend it. Now, for my 75 talent, I'm still kind of iffy on the Death Pack and conversion. Death Pack is great for getting an immediate heal, however, it will hurt you as it will absorb 25% of max health for 15 seconds, so any incoming heals will be absorbed. Conversion is great, but it costs a lot of runic power. I believe it's 15 runic power per second, and when you use conversion, when you use it, it really depends upon how you set up your class and play style. You really need to set it up a certain way if you'd like to keep it up at all times. I won't cover how to play that style, but for now, I would recommend Death Pack, but I'll leave it up for you guys to decide. Now for my 90 talent, Gorfian's Grass is amazing and is a must for RBGs. As you, because you know, you're more than likely going to be target calling, and in RBG because you are a Death Knight. The reason being is because you have grip, and that grip allows you to put people in bad positions. So, however, in arenas, I like using Desecrated Ground. You know, it's an extra trinket ability. It's a trinket on steroids. Remorseless Winter is a good option for a heavy melee comp, and if they try to pile you, then you're going to have the ability to stun both. However, while stacks are forming, they can be dispelled, so I do prefer Desecrated Ground over the other two for arenas. Now, as I said before, I prefer Necrotic Plague for a steady damage. However, Breath Ascendergosa is great for threes. I haven't had too much experience with it, but at the moment, for someone who's trying to learn to play Death Knight, I would just recommend Necrotic Plague for right now. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at glyphs. Now, first, what I recommend is Glyph of Icy Touch right here. As you can see, it's gonna give you the ability to remove one helpful magic effect from the target. This is great for removing a priest bubble or any magic effect. Secondly, I recommend the Glyph of Runic Power. The reason I recommend this is most times you're going to be kited, or you're going to be slowed. And when that happens, Glyph of Runic Power is going to give you the ability to generate 3 Runic Power every second for 5 seconds. You know, so that's that's really good. It's not crazy good. I mean, it's good. And then for the substitute for that, what I recommend is the let me see, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Death Grip. It increases the range of your Death Grip by 5 yards. You know, this is huge because they can help you in RBGs. It can place healers, DPS, even flag carriers in bad positions for you to kill them to get that kill target down immediately as much as possible. And for the third glyph, I prefer Glyph of Anti-Magic Shell, just against heavy magic comps. Also, what's great about, I didn't mention this, what's great about Anti-Magic Shell, let's say you're going against a lock and you see a fear incoming, what you do is you go ahead and pop that if you'd like, and it'll block that fear. Or if a boomkin, or excuse me, if a druid is trying to cyclone you, you can pop this and you're going to be immune, which is awesome for a Death Knight. So either way, if you want to use it to absorb magical damage or try to absorb and block a CC, either way, it's really great for that. And then what the other glyph that I recommend people using, did I scroll past it? Yep, is excuse me, it's Dark Simulacrum. You know, it's great for arenas and RBGs. It'll help you get more crowd control effects, and if used properly and mastered, this is one of the most dangerous abilities in the game, and it'll allow you as a DK to put as much needed crowd controls or CCs in order to kill the target of your choice. So let's go ahead and move on to stat priority. For your stat priority, of course, it's going to be strength. That's going to be your main stat. Now there are several different type of builds for a Death Knight. There's a haste build, and then there's a mastery build. The mastery build is great for doing more frost damage and having bigger crits. And then the haste build is just great for getting out more attacks and a higher rune regeneration, which is good. And what I recommend is the haste build. I've never seen a big change in DPS in the mastery build. It's really up to you personally if you want bigger crits or if you want faster strikes, you know. So I mean, what I recommend and what I've seen the best is the haste build. You also want to keep in mind that versatility plays a big role too. That would be followed by haste, because I see strength, haste, versatility, crit, multi-strike, and then mastery. That's kind of what I see as the main stats. And versatility, the reason I say versatility, and what you want to do is you want to enchant versatility for your rings, for your neck, for your back. And the reason being is it acts as PvP power and PvP resilience. And if you're not familiar what those terms are or what they were, is It's going to increase your damage and increase your healing done while decreasing damage taken. So this is, a great stat to have. It's going to help you get more damage, more healing, and decrease that damage, which is great. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the rotation. Now, the easiest part of being a DK is the rotation, as your priorities to keep dots up and obliterate Howling Blast only when it procs though. You only want to use Howling Blast when it procs off obliterate strikes. This is very important. And then your Frost Strike to dump runic power, but only use that when you don't have Killing Machine procced up. I'll go ahead and show you guys right now. So see this dummy? Let's go ahead and put my dots up with Outbreak. Frost Strike. Frost Strike.
Vengeance.
Boom, Vengeance. You hear that Vengeance? That means my Killing Machine is up. And whenever Killing Machine is procced, you want to use Obliterate. Use Frost Strike because it blocks and you don't have a reason for shield on a Frost Strike.
Vengeance.
Just so, I mean, it's very simple. Use Chains of Ice to slow right there. Icy Touch to remove ability. I mean, it's very simple to play. It's not very hard. So I hope I answered any questions on how to play your Frost Deathknight. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this guide. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. And if you enjoyed this guide, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me know to keep making more videos. So I just want to say thank you and have a great one.